Hi everyone, this is Rachel Adner. I'm just going to post my thoughts on the module. Difficult subject, as we all know, one that I very quickly had to get familiar with. I came onto the housing team mid-year last January, and one of the first things I did when I was here was attend the Title IX training for mandatory reporters. So here I am, first experience in housing, walk into Lumina with a fair amount of faculty and staff, and learn that it's required for me to report pretty much anything in terms of what a student said, if a student says, or I hear it from even a person's roommate, and it's really amazing kind of how deep the boundaries go. It's a good thing, but anyway, it was just interesting. Kind of that was my first big exposure to it, and truly at that time I was like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but obviously learned a lot in that year, 18 months. So I think it's also really interesting kind of what you see and what you are the front lines to from being a student and then working in this field. I'm about 3 years removed, but I just don't remember like anything like this happening or hearing about it or anything when I was in undergrad. So I don't know if I was just in this little bubble or people weren't reporting it as much as they are now, but it's just interesting. So one new thing that I learned, like I said, I'm very familiar with a lot of the rules and regulations and kind of the acquaintance and the statistics and all of that. One thing was just that that less than 5% of rapes are reported. That number, obviously I know that a lot of them are not reported. I didn't realize that it was that low. I think we think about not how frequently, that's not a good word, but how often we do hear about it in terms of housing residents' life, and then or if we have to deal with it in terms of like a campus coverage situation, you just think about how often it's happening that people aren't saying anything. So that number just jumped out at me. Another thing that jumped out at me was the articles around the rights of the accused. I think Christina mentioned this in her post, but drawing that line and what really is a sexual assault, how do the accused have those rights without infringing on those that accused them? So I mean, I think it's just really important to make sure that the students that are accused have the same rights, and that institutions aren't just rushing to take action, because I think that there's so much pressure on institutions now to act as soon as they know something. Not saying that they're like, okay, you did it, bye, that's it. But I mean, I just think about the stories that, cases were overturned, women ended up being in trouble for lying. I mean, this was a while ago, but it makes me automatically think back to the Duke lacrosse case that happened, I don't know, 2007, or I don't know when that was. But anyway, I mean, you think about those athletes went through that entire scandal to then be acquitted, but you think about what kind of name they're going to have for the rest of their lives. So there's no just, oh, it goes away and now I was acquitted and so people don't think I raped this girl. I mean, that's not the case. So I think it's really important to make sure that those rights are universal and that there are resources not only for the victims but also for the accused. And then lastly, in terms of what I hope to do, so one thing I plan to do in the future is really just to make sure that I can respond effectively. I think one thing I've learned as being a part of the on-call rotation here is that you have to treat them as a person first. So you walk into a lot of different situations. Half the time we don't know what we're walking into. And there's a lot of information that we have to find out in order to report up. And so I think the most important thing that I've learned and that I will continue to do is just to treat them as a person first. Build that rapport with them. Talk to them about what happened. Empathize with them. And they will tell you, or that information will come out, or you may be in a better position to ask them about the information that you need to know. Like I said, very easy to walk into a situation, and we struggle with teaching our RAs this too, in terms of just talking to that person. The information will come. You go into the situation with a list of like, I have to find out this, I have to find out this, I have to find out this in order to report up. But really, I think the focus should be on the person and student first, and handling their needs and support right away, and then getting that information after. So I'm still learning, I think, how to effectively do that. It can be really tough, when you roll out of bed at 2 a.m. and adrenaline and everything else, and just trying to handle that. So I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts and the discussion next week.